Hello, everyone. This is Miss Peachy from your WCA physical science class, and I am here to talk to you a bit about your electromagnets project. You can call them the electromagnets too if you'd like, but we're not in France, so we'll just go ahead with electromagnets. Um, so for this unit, you actually have two portfolios, but being the nice teacher that I am dropping one of those two portfolios. This time I'm dropping the lab, the magnetic and electric fields lab, because I want you to do the project instead. We dropped the project last unit and did the lab, so this time we're going to do the reverse. So basically for this, you're going to be using some data that's already been collected, and you're going to be graphing and analyzing the data and answering some questions. So essentially, in this fictitious lab, somebody has made two electromagnets using coils of wire. And they have one that has 25 coils of wire and one that has 50 coils of wire. And you just have to kind of analyze like how many paper clips they picked up with each different electromagnet and graph them and kind of see if you can see some relationships between the number of wires, the number of paper clips, and so on and so forth. So they've given you the data set and the questions, which is what is in this student guide here. And they've also given you some graph paper that you can use if you want to do your graphing by hand. You can do your graph by hand. That's completely acceptable. If you do decide to graph by hand, you will need to take a picture of it or scan it into your computer so that you can upload it to the Dropbox. You should not be sending those in the mail because we won't be for sure to get them in time before the end of this school year. So make sure you give me an electronic copy of that. However, today I am going to show you how to do the graph electronically in Word. And if you have Word, you can do it in your Word program. All right, so let's do that. Let's first open the student guide up, which somewhere I have it open already. Let's see here. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that either. All right. I have a very, very misbehaving mouse at the moment. It likes to do some extra random clicking, so I apologize if that happens. Okay. So this is the beginning. It talks about the background, talks about how the strength of your electromagnet or magnet depends upon several factors, including the number of coils wrapped around the core of the electromagnet, the voltage of the power source. The greater the number of coils, the stronger the electromagnet, and the greater the voltage, the stronger the electromagnet, right? In this scenario, you have students that are testing electromagnets in lab. They make two different ones. Well, they actually make more than two, but they have one that has 25 coils of wire and one that has 50. And they also change out the battery from four different kinds. So they have a 1.5 volt, a 3.0 volt, a 4.5 volt, and a 6.0 volt battery. So they're checking like a bunch of different variables actually. So they've organized it into two data tables. The first one is the 25 turn electromagnet at these four different voltages. And the second one is the 50 turn electromagnet at these four different voltages. They have two different tries, and then they average them together to get the average number of paper clips that they can pick up in each of these different electromagnets. So then you need to graph this information. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be graphing them on the same graph. So we'll use one graph with two lines. And it says plot voltage on the x-axis and the average number of paper clips on the y-axis. Then it says to scale it in a specific way. We'll kind of go through this step by step. So the first thing we're going to do is just start off by making the line graph. So on Word, you are going to go to Insert, the mouse, Insert, Chart. You're going to select Line. You're going to select the fourth option, which has the little markers on it, which is just my preference because then you can see the markers. And we'll hit OK. And that gives you like a generic graph with a generic chart. You don't need three lines on here, you just need two. So we're automatically going to go ahead and just delete column D so that we only are ending up with two. As you can see here, We have category on the x-axis and we have series on the y-axis. According to our directions, we want, that happens every time I accidentally hit the smiley face. We want, let's see, it says voltage on the x-axis and average number of paper clips on the y-axis. Okay, so let's do that. Category is replaced with voltage. Okay, and remember we had 4 different voltages, 1.5, 3.0, 4.5, and 6.0, right? And then we are doing number of paper clips, but you've got 2 different scenarios. You've got the 25 turn and the 50 turn. So I'm going to put number of clips 25 turn. And then this one's number of clips 50 turn. Okay. And for now, I'm just going to take this data here. See, this is my mouse problem. Well, I'm just going to delete individual boxes then because it's naughty. It doesn't work very well. I need a new mouse here. Don't delete the whole thing. There we go. So that's what we have. So now you've got to enter the data in here. You guys have those. Remember, this is just the average column. So enter your averages for each one of those and for each one of those, and that's going to give you this graph that you're going to have. Now, another couple of things that it asks for, I'm just going to scooch this kind of down a little bit out of the way, is it asks you to scale this in a specific way. It says scale the x-axis in intervals of 1.5 volts and scale the y-axis in intervals of 5 paper clips. Well, as you can see, the x-axis automatically scales to 1.5 volts. 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6, because that's the numbers that you selected. The y-axis does not automatically scale the correct way, so I'm going to just highlight this data. I'm going to double click on it, and then I'm going to go to somewhere over here. I always forget where. Nope, that was the wrong thing. Let's try that again. Oh, yeah. I got to go to axis options. It didn't show up before, but I'm going to go to axis options. Come on. Let's see here. There we go. Nope. Well, there. I don't know what it was. It should be coming to axis options, and then you should see all this information. And basically, we want the units. We want major and minor. We're going to do our major unit of 1.0, and our minor unit, we're going to do 5.0. Okay. And what that's going to do is it's going to, for now, it doesn't look like it does much at all. It just has 0 and 5 because you don't have any data in here. But once you start putting data in here, it's going to make sure that every line on there that's going vertically is by intervals of 5, which is what you wanted. So, I mean, if you have troubles with that, let me know, and I can help you out because it's obviously it's kind of a pain in the butt. But again, you click on this. Make sure you click on that part. I just can't seem to get it. Part of this is my mouse issue. There we go. Still struggling. There it is. You just got to click at the top of it, I guess. And it gives you access options. You want this one, this little guy, layout and properties. I'm sorry. It's this guy that's being selected, access options. So once you have that one, then you can select the major and minor, and that's what you want to change. All right. That being said, that's it for making the graph part. Once you have that done, you've made your graph. Make sure you put your name on it. You can save that, and you can submit that as one of your work files. You can actually also then copy and paste the answers down below. So you've got questions to answer that go along with this. Oh, you're not done yet. You've got all these questions. So I guess what you could do is then highlight these questions here. And then just go ahead and paste them into the Word document underneath of your graph. That didn't work out real well, did it? Let's try that one more time. Yeah, so when you paste, don't just push paste. Go to the right click and hit this last option here, which allows it kind of will spread them out better for you. Otherwise, it just comes in one weird giant paragraph. But yeah, when you hit paste, if you click, there's three options. There's keep source formatting, merge formatting, and keep text only. I would do the third option. So now you've got all the questions. And then you can go ahead and just, in between these, just answer them. So look at the data table and the graph for the 25 coil electromagnet with the 1.5 volt battery. And then ask you some questions. Question A, how many times stronger is the 1.5 volt battery than the 6 battery? So when you're answering these questions, ladies and gentlemen, you'll have an answer here. The 6.0 volt battery is 4 times. Is that right? Yeah. Like twice as. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, just doing the math. Stronger than the 1.5. So when you write out your answers, I really appreciate if you would highlight them a different color for me. Helps the old eyes so I can see them a little bit better. But go ahead and highlight any of the answers you do in between. Again, answer all of the questions that you have here. Put your name on this, and then you can submit it into the Dropbox. So it is as simple as that. If you don't want to do the electronic version, you can just type up your questions separately and then submit like a picture of your graph with your data table. So you don't have to do the graph electronically. It's really not that hard. So if you want to do the graph electronically, that's fine too. That's everything for this portfolio, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know. You can contact me via webmail, and we can always set up an appointment to meet in my live lesson room. Have a fantastic day. Bye, everyone.